The referee today is Robert Hicks. Anthony Elliott and Mark Craven are the two touch judges. Bernard Sutton is in the video ref's booth, if required. Chatting to Robert Hicks at breakfast this morning, and he admitted referees get nerves as well. Big game for him, as it is for him. Kevin Brown, what a chance to make an impact in an England shirt here today at 32 years of age. The oldest man in that England squad, but winning only his 5th cap today. It has been 10 years, 1 week and 2 days since a rugby league side from these Isles beat Australia. It would be a good day for England to rewrite that piece of history, wouldn't it? But Australia unbeaten in 2016, keep that up for 2 more matches, and they will regain their Four Nations trophy. Sir, what are we expecting here today? Jonathan Davis and John Keir.
Hold for that foot.
A very, very tight game indeed. Psychologically, you don't know if the edge will be with England. Australia already have their place booked in the final at Anfield next week. England are so desperate to earn theirs.
I just think it's all about composure, and patience. You can't score on every set. You've just got to play the way into the game, play in the right areas, and then be clinical when the opportunities come.
Well, the first touch there from Brown is a spiral kick. It's not a bad one. It's putting pressure on Ferguson. Good chase from England as well.
That's how quick the play the ball was there. No messing about. He's away,
Good effort by the England forwards. Wow, making their mark in these early stages.
Yeah, tremendous defence there. Full 10 metres there. The Australian ball carrier taking back. It's great to see this urgency and effort in defence so early.
It's Inglis who's trying to drive forward here. 38th appearance in a Kangaroo shirt for him this afternoon. Woods now, the prop forward from West's Tigers, is held up on the 40-metre mark. So Cameron Smith at dummy half, shuffling it right to Cooper Cronk. That triumvirate down the middle retained in Thurston, Cronk and Smith, who've done so much good for their state as well as for their respective clubs down the years. Lomax with a return.
Look at that chase though, 9 metres out, chase is there.
Oh, Jermaine McGilvray. Well, as we're watching England's forwards getting on top, Jermaine McGilvray just got a bit of a bullying there. So England with Widdop at dummy half. And Burgess, Sam Burgess, we've not perhaps seen the best of in this tournament. His explosive best, maybe today's the day against some of these Australians that he loves to play against in the NRL, and he's already making an enemy there of Aaron Woods.
Well, he's going to get some attention, isn't he? He's the catalyst of this side. He is going to get big attention. And when they can get a shot on him, they will.
That's a great defensive set, isn't it, from Australia? England kicking from deep inside their own half, and it's Kevin Brown with the responsibility. But the plus point there for Australia was that defensive set allowed them to catch the ball on the full, and already they're playing the ball at halfway.
And into the England half with a couple of tackles gone. Left it goes. Here's Boyd Cordner, who carries it in. Australia offering a little bit of a threat here, a growing menace as Trent Merrin hurls it back to Cronk, and Cronk goes to this right-hand side. A little push and a shove from Darius Boyd. But down he goes. 2 tackles to go. Australia 20 metres away. This is Smith, flat across to Merrin. Merrin's wrapped up by eager England defenders. So Smith stands and waits again, and here's another of those kicks. Lomax takes it and just about gets back in the field of play.
But that was the Melbourne Storm connection then. Going left, he kicked right because Cooper Cronk was going under the post. There was a good block made by one of the English players who read that very well.
And it's the efficiency as well, isn't it? This the kicking game, England having to start for a second time only a couple of yards from their own line.
Yeah, Dave, it's been a feature of all the Australian games, is this the play for field position and the constantly turn you around and force you to bring the ball from deep inside your own half, time after time after time.
Here's Percival at dummy half. The band trying to strike up a bit of music as Sam Burgess with a kick downfield.
Well, I don't really understand that. You've got 2 half-backs, a full-back. Why is Sam Burgess kicking there, Nari? Right into the arms of Darius Boyd. And look where they're getting the ball again, near the halfway line.
Valentine Holmes carrying it just inside the England half. Smith out of dummy half. Woods now will drive it down the middle. England's two big men, Hill and Graham, in attendance to make sure his go forward is minimised. Now it's with Merrin, dodging to that left-hand side. But again, Australia rolling close to that England line. Cronk, inside it goes. Gillett spins away. He's dragged down, but here's the 6, so you'd expect a kick. A pressurised kick here. Smith out of dummy half, puts it into the in-goal area. It's watched out of play, just overjudged that time. They're claiming the Australians there was an England hand, but Robert Hicks wants none of that. It's a tap back on the 20, and he's not allowed to take it as quickly as he would have wanted to there, Mark Percival.
No, well, referee Robert Hicks exactly right there, because the touches have got to be in position as well as he himself before the can tap restart. So that's the reason for the delay from Mark Percival.
So be a little sharper touch judges, which is a hard thing to say on a cool November afternoon in London.
Release the ball. Hold.
What do you make of it so far, Jonathan Davis, from England's point of view? Penalty here for England.
I thought the line speed was fantastic from Australia, slightly slow. The one glaring point for me at the moment is the way how easy the Australians are making yardage. That's the one problem at the moment. They need to close that down, because you don't want to be making big
Dear me.
That's a poor kick. You can't give them anything, the Australians, and that's thing you can't. You got to close the yardage down, purely because Cronk, Thurston and Cameron Smith, if they're in your 20-metre area, very, very dangerous.
Well, not one kick from an England boot has found the grass yet.
No.
All three have been fielded by Australians, including the penalty attempt to touch.
That's the big one.
That was Widdop, wasn't it, there, who, well, not finding touch is just unforgivable, isn't it? In a game like this, from a penalty, but it has given Australia an opportunity. Cameron Smith, here's Aaron Woods.
Last move, Sam gets square, Elliot.
So one play to go. Smith in. Here's Thurston. Went for the kick dummies and then throws it out. And Darius Boyd is woeful with a pass. Throws it behind his support. A little bit of a wave from Boyd as he threw that. Greg Inglis might have been one of the targets, but
yeah, good attention for Thurston or Hodgson. Just put him on the deck.
Okay.
Yeah, the orthodox pass there, I think, to English would have been the go-to pass, but England led off there. But they just need to get better yardage, Jonathan, and finish the set off better. It's got to find the grass.
Mal Meninga, the coach of Australia, just making a few notes. Maybe it is to encourage Darius Boyd to improve his passing game. Darius Boyd, very much a student of Wayne Bennett, of course, the England coach. Boyd has played at Brisbane, St George, Newcastle. Now he's back at Brisbane, and every time he has been under Wayne Bennett, a one-coach player. Out it goes to Watkins. Watkins has McGilvray on his outside, but Australia's cover is there. McGilvray will play. This is Brown. Brown's kick. Again, it's you know, what was that kick about, and wasn't it a little early?
No, that's the difference between the two sides at the moment. When it comes to the crucial, time in the game, you need your players to get in that position. That kick was taken so easy. It's got to be put in the air with a hanging time so you can compete for it.
Penalty Australia. Holding down. 8 minutes played, 0-0.
Yeah, one penalty each now, that's another area that you cannot allow Australia to have field position. The fielding the ball so well, the gaining yards with the carries, the ending the sets well. At the minute, you would say that although it's not on the scoreboard, but Australia certainly had the better start to this game.
Well, they have been the Rugby League nation, haven't they, down the years? 8 Tri-Nations or 4 Nations tournaments. They've won 5 of them. They were runners-up in the other 2, in the other 3 rather. They'll be at least runners-up in this one. And 14 World Cups since 1954. They've won 10 of them. And here they are attacking through Valentine Holmes, who's put on his back 20 metres away from that England line. Australia with his growing menace again. Cordner.
3, move, Chris.
England have got a lot of work to do here. Once more, it's Smith. This now is Scott. Now Cronk, inside pass for Gillett, who runs across to whence it came, and Boyd will take it on to Thurston, but Thurston is hauled down by the tackle of Widdop. Smith left, Inglis can't get in his stride, or can he? Or can he? You know he can't. Eventually he's put down. Are they going to tackle him? Yes, they are eventually. My word, was he a handful. But here comes the last play in this set again. Again, it's an attacking kick. Cronk puts it high. The challenge in the air has been won by Percival, with Dugan very close to scoring. Had Percival not done as well as that, and a penalty for England.
Yeah, too eager. Great take by Percival under intense pressure.
It was a marvellous catch, wasn't it, Percival there? A real contest there to a kick that was just landed inside the field of play. A perfect end. But then from that, England have been piggybacked upfield with an Australian header by giving a penalty away.
Here's Bateman.
Cooper.
Third
All the way, hold.
partnership in the halves under Wayne Bennett's stewardship this game, in Kevin Brown and Gareth Widdop.
Hold here, Cooper. Hold.
And neither have been sparkling so far, but it is early days. Here is Brown, and that's Widdop, and now it's Lomax, the fullback, in the line, but Thurston's up to meet him.
Move, Cameron. Hold here, Matt. Go.
Watkins. It's going to be Sam Burgess looking for some explosion down the middle, but he's occupying the minds of three Australian defenders, and he's going to be put down. Still 20. Oh, it's a penalty, hanging on too long. Penalty for England. Now, 20 metres out against New Zealand, they went for goal, and here again Josh Hodgson immediately pointing to the sticks. England are going for goal.
Yeah, it's a sign of a Wayne Bennett coach team anyway. He likes to take any points on offer, and this is a pretty good position for a penalty there, and just interference at the ruck there. Burgess trying to play the ball quickly, prevent it from doing so, and the end result is a pretty decent effort of a kick from 22 metres out. You'd expect, Jonathan, for it to be 2-0 after this.
Yeah, it's got to be slaughtered. These points have to be taken. I think with England, they'll be quite happy with the way they started. You know, they look a bit comfortable in defence because they haven't really been tested yet. But for me, it's all about the patience. Just make sure you do the hard yards, you get the good kick, and you force Australia to play from within their own 20-metre area. Try and force the error.
47th goal in an England shirt for Gareth Widdop. And this is his 21st appearance. He's racking up the caps now, and he's given England a 2-0 lead. And what we've seen of these opening 11 minutes, I think England would have to be very satisfied with that 2-0 lead.
They'll be delighted, they really will, because the field position's gone Australia's way, but England really, the plus point for them is they've been knocking the sets out. They really have. They've had the ball 7 times and they've completed 7 sets, so they'll be happy about that. That means that they will stay in the game because they're having more than half the ball at the minute.
Called in by Brown and offered for Hill to run it back.
Move, Aaron. Hold me, hold.
James Graham just pawing the ground here in anticipation of taking the ball, and here he comes with a big push forward. Cameron Smith and Boyd Cordner are there to meet and greet, and Josh Hodgson bellowing out from dummy half, wants to get on with it. Widdop goes wide to Whitehead. Whitehead, who got those couple of tries last week at a very timely moment of the game against Scotland late in the first half to lift England's spirits then.
Get square, Jonathan.
This is Hodgson. Here's Widdop. And Burgess again. Sam Burgess.
Last.
5 tackles gone. England on the last. Still inside their own half. So Widdop puts it high.
James, give 10.
Forward comes Boyd. Takes it safely enough and
Dominant.
will take the tumble
Hold.
so that Australia have possession. Let's hear from Robbie Hunter-Paul. Robbie.
Well, there are some concerns for Australia, and I know that they've had the lion's share of the possession, but they did something similar with against New Zealand last week, where they did have again the lion's share of the possession, but they weren't able to convert that into points. I think they need to start looking at that again. We've seen them have 75% of field position and ball retention, but they're not converting it into points. And I think ultimately for a team that as good as they are, they start to ask questions of themselves. England need to stay in this game and keep putting them under pressure.
But again, just watch that, you know, the kick, the set, they start off in their own 20-metre area, and that's what they'll try and do. You know, they won't rush anything, they'll be clinical, just play the percentages and, you know, try and force England into making a mistake in their own half, and that's when they will then, you know, set up the attacks.
Well, England's outside backs are doing a job here, haven't they? They got a penalty as well. That was an entire 3-quarter full back set, that wasn't it? And has got England a penalty. Can they find touch this time?
Well, and that came on the back of ruck speed as well, generated by those three quarters. And as you can see, that's 4 penalties that Australia have conceded to England's 1. So that really is an area, statistical area, that England will be very pleased about.
And just before the tap, John, just your take on the fact that Williams is on the bench instead of Darrell Clarke today.
Yeah, well, I don't think you'll get lightning rucks consistently against this Australian team. And obviously George Williams, he can come on and play at 9, but also it could be the game changer at half-back if you need that X factor from a running game, as we're attempted to demonstrate here.
Would have held up inside the 20. Best attacking position England have had so far. Graham puts it back. Brown with a pass to Lomax, who joins in from fullback. Oh, it squeezes through the hands of Percival. I think the referee's happy that that went backwards. No, he's not. Takes a moment to consider. Might have had a shot from the touch judge. But a little bit of excitement from the England three-quarters again there, where handling may be letting them down when opportunity knocks.
Yeah, the pass has got to be in front. Look, he overruns it, Percival, and the pass is behind him and he can't take it. So just trying to force it.
Yeah, that's only the first error though,
yeah.
Jonathan. So, you know, we're 15 minutes into the game, and that's the first handling error that England have come up with. So that's the reason they're in this game. That's the reason that the 2 points in front in this game.
Yeah, you know, we spoke about Kevin Brown's selection. I think, you know, that's a good selection. This game has got to be won or drawn. I think Kevin Brown consistently is the most creative player I feel in Super League. And George Williams played well last week, and he has that X factor. If he comes on there tired and he runs against defenders, you need to score points against this Australian side. So, you know, he's picked 2 creative players, one running and one kind of, you know, putting people into spaces.
Here's Scott leading the charge. Matt Scott from the North Queensland Cowboys, co-captain of that club with Jonathan Thurston. His half here today as well. Standoff. Here's Cameron Smith. Australia, green and gold machine, looking to roll downfield again. Inglis always offers a threat out there just because of his sheer size and power. 5 gone, 6th tackle. It's the furthest away from the England line. I think that Australia have finished the set. It's Hall who's put his name on that, but
penalty.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see this tackle. You know, Cooper Cronk kind of reacted.
It's Callum Watkins, I think, who went through with the challenge there. Cronk obviously not over impressed, and obviously the referee sees it as foul play.
I'd like to see that in real speed, because I don't think that's that late.
Wasn't that late, was he?
No.
Unfortunately, it was late enough for the officials.
If he played on normal speed, I don't think it is.
Robert Hicks just explaining why he has given the penalty. Australia, I don't think they've made a decision yet. Cameron Smith's just having a smile and a giggle. James Graham has to go back.
When it's a late challenge on a kicker, the penalty then is taken where the ball lands, which is the reason why they've been marched upfield, so that they're underneath the post. And obviously Jonathan Thurston is looking to tie the scores once more.
It's a normal speed, look. I don't think that's late at all. You know.
Marginal at best.
Is it dangerous? You've got to accept that as the goal kicker, I think. You know, you just got. What you got to do is just, if you see someone coming, just leave your foot up. And you just got a mouthful of studs.
Is that what you used to do?
Well, you try and do it. Just keep it up. You look after yourself, you know. And then the next time he comes looking for you, he doesn't come as quick.
So Jonathan Thurston just settling himself here, keeping the head guard on for this attempt at goal to square things up with 17 minutes of the first half played, and it should be and is a success for Thurston from the boot. It is 2 points apiece with 17 minutes played. There have been things to admire about England's game, things to wince about, and Australia with their usual efficiency, and it's all square.
Yes, this certainly is not going to be a high-scoring game. I think England look pretty at ease with against Australia's attacking threat, and I think vice versa as well. Both defences are really hard on top, and points, I believe, are going to be at a premium.
And it's going to be a game when the nerves grow, isn't it? You know, the tension of the game grows as the game goes on here because of the fact that England have to draw or win it, and as long as it stays close like this could be a slow boiler. Here's Lomax with a restart for England, sends it downfield. The whole line goes chasing forward to meet Matt Scott and stop him in his tracks. Smith out of dummy half. Here's Woods, the other prop forward. Three of them wrestling around.
Move, Josh. Back up, Sam. Back
Putting
up,
him down.
James.
Quickly up.
That's better.
It's with Merrin.
There's nothing, you know, it's just a very basic plan, isn't it, John? You go there, look, that's the first time when they get near halfway, they'll have a little crack at it. But before that, you know, they will not do anything which is kind of dangerous of giving possession up, missing a tackle. They will just go the yards, hard yards, get into field position, and then put a good kick in.
Well, here they go again, fifth tackle, so again it's going to be a kick. Cooper Cronk gets it away, under pressure from Hodgson this time. Hall will catch it safely, but a good chase. It's Dugan is up there. And England start 5 from their own line again here.
Yeah, normal service resumed, isn't it? Giving them 95 metres if they want to score any points.
Here's Bateman.
This is draining as well for the English players, because, you know, they're coming, always have got to come from inside their own, you know, 10-metre area.
John Bateman tried a sneaky little crawl along the floor to get an extra couple of yards there, but Robert Hicks was wise to that, so he's had to go back. And here's Sam Burgess trying to bust a hole down the middle, and Hodgson is rolling in at dummy half again. Hill is to his left. The footwork of the big man, just launching his body into those Australian defenders. Sixth tackle again. Needs a better kick this time. Widdop puts it over the head of Valentine Holmes, but over the dead ball line as well.
Yeah, just that half metre or so too far. That would have remained in the field of play. That would have been the best end of a set that England would have had.
He tried to put a little bit of check on it. Unfortunately, you know, with the do is just going to skipped over.
Well, he knows his responsibilities today, Gareth Widdop, doesn't he? No uncertain terms. His coach Wayne Bennett telling us beforehand, he's got to pick his game up. He's got to pick his act up. And what better day to do it than against Australia in London. Here's Aaron Woods. 3 tackles gone. Australia nibbling their way inside the English half again. Attritional. It's with Cameron Smith. A little bit of a saunter and a swagger from the Melbourne hooker. Back towards the middle. This is Scott now, solidly forward. And that's the position Australia find themselves in again on the 6th tackle. Here comes Cronk with a little dodge and a weave. And again it's a good kick, and there's no chances taken by Kevin Brown, who puts it away behind the dead ball line.
They're just robotic, aren't they? They'll do the yards, they'll get the right people into the right positions, and then, you know, try and get a repeat set, or they start from their own line. That's all they're trying to do, and if the opportunities come, they will take them. So England have just got to hang on now. I think play the ball has got to be quicker, you know, and get a better kicking game to get more distance, because they're just making easy yardage, you know, from the kick returns.
I mean, it's a fantastic skill, isn't it? That completion, that 6th tackle play.
Well, look at the completion of both teams. You know, it's 91% England, 90% Australia. They really are. It's attritional rugby league, and it's high-quality rugby league.
It's test match rugby, and they've got to wait and be patient for that opening. And I think England will be very, very happy.
Thurston. And has a bit of support as well, but England's cover is in there to make sure Cordner's not going to make too much of a dent. It's with Merrin, who tries to weave back and the offload, and there's where danger comes, because Cronk will put it back to Gillett, who straightens up. Look at the footwork from the second rower there, dancing through, but England's defenders.
Great double tackle by Graham there.
Massively important moment of defence from England. Some classy running from the second rower. It's a bludgeoning effect this time from Merrin, but England are up to that.
Great defence.
And England fans are loving that. But there's more to come. Thurston, quick hands. Boyd tries to get it away. Penalty for Australia.
Well, it's
Offside,
a test match, and this will be a further test of the England defensive capabilities. They're standing up to them pretty well at the minute, but Australia, they're being attritional, they're knocking out the sets, they're taking the yards, but also they're using these inside balls to really test the middle channel players. But that was great rush defence, but unfortunately for England, offside as indicated by referee Robert Hicks.
So here comes another set for Australia to hammer this England line. The wall of white, as it's been self-styled, this English side. Will the wall of white withstand more here from the Kangaroos? It's Thurston who's put down on tackle 2. And Smith in at dummy half. Woods to his right. Has a look at what's ahead of him and decides he's going to have a go. But England hold out again.
Yeah, it's a good slow ruck as well, because they made sure he went down to the floor.
Here comes Cronk. He's going to have a go, and he hits that line hard, but it hits back even harder.
Brilliant defence. He went for it, head down, he was going for it.
Now it's Smith, and again they go for that powerful effort. Dugan can't keep hold. Ryan Hall comes up with it, and the England fans react almost as if England had scored a try. They've certainly saved one there.
Well, that's great work, isn't it? That really is. That'll be pleasing for all the coaching staff on the England side, because they were under pressure, they've handled that pressure, and they've forced the error. Tremendous defence there. First of all, preventing Cronk, and then on the very next play, the rush defence forced the error.
And that's good work from Tom Burgess as well with that latest drive, because England are creeping towards the halfway line. McGilvray has a chance to cut back inside, and they've still got a couple of tackles to go, and they find themselves in Aussie territory.
Great
and
set.
Even better than that from England's point of view, they get a penalty.
That's a brilliant set, Bean. I think that's the best set that they've carried the ball, you know, from brilliant defence on their own line. They've gone, you know, 60 metres, and now they're in an attacking zone as well.
It often does that, Jonathan, doesn't it? You gain confidence from your defensive efforts. That was a magnificent defensive effort. I'm with you. That was a tremendous yardage set as well, cleared in their own line.
So here come England with 5 tackles to go here now. Hodgson, dummy half. It's going to be taken in by Graham. Down he goes. Hodgson again. England want it played quickly, and they get a penalty here. Now, is this another 2 points to tick off?
Yep, you can say that.
Or do they fancy that?
They'll take 2.
Time off, Cameron.
Well, they got England on the Australia on the back foot here. Cameron Smith is, as captain of Australia, has just been called out. Well, they want to take the tap quickly. Hodgson knows he was never going to get away with that.
Get out of the cold. Okay.
Well, this will be very interesting if they decide to run it.
I think they are.
Yeah, they are.
They're going to run it.
Good on them.
Never mind the 2. We fancy the 6. So England are going for it here. And first drive is Burgess. They fancy, Tom Burgess, they fancy that Australia are creaking a little. Hodgson, here's Sam Burgess. Oh, and he squeezes that offload away. Hodgson picks it up. It's a knock-on. It's another set of 6. Australian hands. So another set of 6 here for England. The tackle count starts here. Hodgson. Graham passes quickly to Widdop, and out it goes to that right-hand side, and Watkins, the athlete, back on the inside for Widdop. Widdop now will step away, or at least he hopes he would. But Cameron Smith was in his shadow and dragged him down. Hodgson waits. Left to Brown. Brown bringing on Bateman, back on the diagonal effort again. Australia's turn to creak. Hodgson picking up Graham to his right. Graham, oh, I think that might have been a forward pass, but they're allowed to get on with it, and Burgess, Tom Burgess is almost over the line. Just held up, still tackles in the bag. Hodgson again now. Widdop, quick pass. Lomax, what a take! What a take that was by Jermaine McGilvray! The ball was behind him. He twisted his body to catch it in midair and scores in the corner. That's his 4th England try. He's scoring some memorable ones, but they're only none to better that.
Fantastic work there from England. Really was. You've got to credit the players for having the confidence to want to keep the ball in hand, to test this Australian defence out. Here's where the first repeat set came. Centre there, playing at the ball. It was Josh Dugan, and then from the resulting repeat set, the ball went to the right. Cracking pass that, wasn't it, from Johnny Lomax, straight across the face of Callum Watkins, the centre. It drew the Australian wingman in, and there was just a half metre there for McGilvray, and over he goes. Great try, and credit to the English players.
Yeah, I think Valentine Holmes was caught in no man's land there, and Johnny Lomax exploited that. They were short.
Catch well kick, chase long, fucking defend.
Apologies if he calls some bad language. It wasn't Jeffy, wasn't you, was it? Wasn't you?
Brilliant try.
Great try, England. Well, that's lifted spirits around these parts from an English point of view.
Well, I think it's lifted it with that defensive set, and then there's been a great passage of play.
It's Widdop's attempt at goal, which hasn't reached the target.
And I think that'll be, you know, hopefully, you know, they'll learn a lot from that, because, you know, if they get in the right field positions, they've got to get the yards and the good kicking game and play in the right areas. You know, it is like a game of chess, and when the opportunity comes, you've just got to take it. But a brilliant finish. Johnny Lomax comes in. It's a beautiful pass. Valentine Holmes is caught in no man's land. Lovely, lovely try.
Well, I'm going to compliment Sam Burgess as the captain. If you remember the last game against Scotland, he chose to go for the tap. They ran it. The very last play of the game came up with the tries. He overruled the 2 points, decided to tap it, and they've come away with the 4 points. Great captaincy on the field.
And having soaked up a lot of pressure, England will take so much heart from the way they defended so far, but also the way they have taken the chance that has come their way. 6-2 they lead. Jerry McGilvray, the try scorer. And here's Burgess, ripping a little bit of a hole down the middle. Sam, that is. His other brother, George, is on the field as well.
Well, England are growing into this game, you know. As the games progress, England have got better.
Sam Burgess stepping in. It was his little offload as well that caused a few problems in the build-up. It's the kick by Kevin Brown. This is more of a challenge here, but it's taken superbly well by Blake Ferguson.
That's it. That's all you need to do, is get a good kick in and give him the ball over in a 20-metre area.
He's not a bad taker of the high ball, though, is he, Ferguson? Safe as houses he is.
3 straight out, Tom.
So Australia looking to bludgeon their way out again here.
4
Behind.
James Hold.
In this game. I think it's the first time they've been behind in the tournament, isn't it, so far? Lightning fast start against Australia, against Scotland rather, and they were always leading against New Zealand. Here's the big kick. Lomax almost underneath his own sticks, will patch it safely enough and runs it back. And let's hear from Tanya Arnold down on the touchline. Tanya.
I've got with me Luke Gale. Luke, you were all punching the air as that try went over. Has there been a lot of talk about needing to hang on to Australia and just take those small chances?
I think, yeah, taking the chances is crucial. It was all about the start, really. A real good start and a bit of an arm wrestle, really, and we just managed to break that arm wrestle with that try there from Jermaine.
And you were all applauding the defensive set as well that preceded that.
Yeah, we defended 2 goal line D sets on our line that'll give the boys real good confidence going on to the rest of the game.
Tough sitting this one out?
Yeah, it's always tough sitting out, but I'm sure the boys will do a great job out there and bring on the 2 points and move on to next week.
Thanks for your time, Luke.
Thank you.
Oh, that's a good cue by Brown, and Sam Burgess was eager to land something on, I think it was Valentine Holmes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. But
He wanted to dislodge the
he's
ball.
knocked on, he's knocked on. Well, maybe unsettle Valentine Holmes enough so that the winger's actually knocked on when he's trying to pick up and play the ball.
Well, errors like that are at a premium on either side. And early in the tackle count, there's the attempted tackle from Burgess, but then it was from the resultant completed tackle that he dropped the ball, Holmes, as he was trying to regain his feet.
Well, it's a brilliant couple of minutes for England. Great defensive set on their own try line, good yardage, and then a good finish by a beautiful pass by Lomax. And now there's another opportunity on the 20-metre line.
Stand up, stand up, stand
And if they don't get anything from it, repeat set. That's what they want to do now.
Bind it.
If they don't score here, make sure it's a good kick to finish.
Here's Brown offering it inside for Tom Burgess.
Move, Sam. Hold here,
So
hold.
5 tackles from here.
Go.
Hodgson going right, offering it to a couple, passes away to Widdop. Widdop's got Watkins running in. And that's a bit of vintage Callum Watkins, that, wasn't it, momentarily?
Go.
But he doesn't quite get there. Widdop again has to turn back because that green and gold had closed in on his inside.
Surrender.
So England,
Stand.
You can sense, Dave, the belief is really growing amongst the guys in the white shirts.
Hodgson, it's with Graham. I don't think anyone would ever accuse James Graham of ever lacking self-belief.
All go.
He's taken the NRL by storm over the last few years, hasn't he? Brown across the line, Lomax again, Percival hangs on, no he doesn't. Thought he might have hung on at the second attempt, but he couldn't quite.
But two good angles of running by the both centres. First of all, Callum Watkins cuts him, and then Percival has a go. So they're asking questions.
Yeah, the error came, but it's looking to create things, and they really are looking to the edges. Once they've gone forward, they're looking to the edges, and both centres are looking pretty dangerous, both Watkins and Percival.
And Lomax as well. I mean, what a role he's playing.
He certainly is round the back, using as a runner or as a passer of the ball.
Head in, Josh. Ball.
So Australia with work to do to bring it out from deep inside their own half. Ferguson, you heard the referee shouting dominant there as Ferguson was pushed to the ground. They're just trying to blast their way out here if they can, but England have certainly fronted up so far in this game. Smith goes left. Carried in. Frizzell is on the field, Tyson Frizzell. Cameron Smith rolling out from dummy half. 4 gone, they're almost up to the halfway line, and that will give them a massive lift, Australian. Penalty on tackle 4.
Yeah, disappointing there for England, because they were struggling to contain the yardage, weren't they? This Australian team being very direct in that set, and obviously late in the tackle count to give the penalty away. Really disappointing. See there, it's a second effort from Sam Burgess there, just tangling up in the play of the ball, just to slow it that half second.
That was a Burgess tackle, by the way. George, Tom and Sam, 13, 14, 15, the 3 brothers, all involved in making that tackle as Australia find themselves 12 metres away from the England line. Thurston up at dummy half. Cameron Smith looks to his right. There's David Klemmer, the big fella, the prop forward. Real enforcer is David Klemmer. But it's England who get on top of him on that occasion. Cameron Smith going to the right again. It's with Gillett. And again, he's pushed back. England have been here many times in this game already and survived. But can Australia offer something different here? Cronk once more. Now it's Thurston. Thurston helps it on again, and Cordner is going to be pulled down. Last tackle. Australia 5 out. Cronk with a chip this time, an attacking kick, and up it goes, and down it comes, and they're juggling it. They're all juggling it. And the referee says there was a knock-on against England. So it's Australia's head and feet here.
I'd like to see that again, because I'm not sure if it was a knock-on.
Well, it's a perfect kick, though, isn't it? Once again, Jonathan, just short of the goal line, and it's Ferguson who knocks it backwards. And
I can't really see an England knock-on there.
Well, that's certainly okay from Australia. Then it goes back. And is it that one? He knocks it into Kevin Brown. Yes, that's what it is.
Yep. Good decision, referee. Here they come, though. Australia threatening down with Ferguson. Ferguson now trying to sharpen things up on that left-hand side. England's defence again there, in numbers, once again. Back to Thurston. Inside for Frizzell to try and offer some impact. 5 away. Cameron Smith rolling up. It's Thurston. And Inglis stopped in his tracks, stopped before he could even get his feet moving.
Brilliant defence by England.
Well, they've been accused of being soft in this tournament so far in defence at times. Not today, not so far. Frizzell again. They're rolling these tackles down. Oh, it's another penalty. It's another penalty. So England are going to have to survive another 6 here. You can't imagine Australia going for goal, can you?
No, he's consistent though, isn't he? You have to say the referee for both sides. Any interference, it's a penalty for both sides.
Here they come again. Klemmer hammering it in.
Well, when England had 3 sets on the Australian line, they came away with 4 points. So let's see if England can handle this.
John Keir, voice of doom. Quick pass, over the top it comes, and Ferguson to finish in the corner. He might go for a replay here, a video replay, but I think the naked eye would tell you that was a try. He on the field thinks it's a try, but they want to just make absolutely sure. So let's hear from our video referee, Bernard Sutton.
And the touchline and the grounding. Something from head on if you can, please, mate. So nice and slow for me, nice and slow. He's got the yellow boots, he's still in at this point, still has possession of the ball, still in at that point, and the ball's been grounded. That'll be a try, have a decision and going to the board.
Yeah, try, obvious try, but tell you what, it's the introduction of the full-back again. I think it's Darius Boyd who gives a lovely ball. English defence has been superb, especially on the left-hand side, and Johnny Bateman has been brilliant. but it's a beautiful pass over the top. The overlap is created, and this guy can finish, let me tell you.
It was high quality structure and high quality execution. I'm sure that Coach Malmeniger will be absolutely delighted.
Just watch now. There's a dummy run there. Blackler coming in. I think Percival's come in to try and close it down, but that's a beautiful pass. Just watch. There's the pass. What a pass that is.
Well, the skill level of that is exceptional, isn't it? Because Percival really did cut his time down, and the winger followed him in there, which is as the edge defence should do, but that was just perfect execution from Boyd, and what a great finish from Blake Ferguson.
Two beautiful passes by both full backs for 2 tries.
Sorry about the doom and gloom, Dave, but
Well, you called it. You called it.
It's a very tough kick, this is, especially for someone who curls the ball so much.
He hits the post a lot with his kicks. I reckon he probably hits the post more than any other kicker. Some big moments when he's hit the post these last couple of years. Thurston curling it in. No danger of hitting the post there, was there? And what were you saying about it being a pretty tough kick? That made it look very easy there.
It is a very difficult kick for a right footer there, especially when he curls the ball so much, but that was beautifully struck.
he absolutely dissected the post, didn't it? Great kick from Thurston. And that's what you get from guys like him, Dave. When the pressure's on, they come up with the big plays.
8-6 Australia lead, and a reminder of the context of the game as Thaiday tries to thunder forward that England need to draw or win to book their place in next week's Four Nations final at Anfield. Australia are already there courtesy of the 2 wins they've racked up against New Zealand and Scotland thus far, and if England fail to win here today, then New Zealand, very nearly pipped by Scotland on Friday night, New Zealand will be in that Four Nations. So a lot to play for in the 42 minutes and 40-odd seconds that remain. And Australia are packing a punch here with Frizzell down that left-hand side again. Up and plays on the 6th tackle. It's with Thurston. Now it's Cronk. Cronk across here. Into the line comes Boyd again. Boyd pushing off defenders. He's going to go down with the ball. It's a handover. And that's possibly the worst end to a set Australia have had.
Yeah, I tell you what though, I have to take my hat off. John Bateman has been brilliant in his defensive duty this afternoon. He has been brilliant. Line defence, he's come out and spotted.
He certainly has, Jonathan, but from an Australian point of view as well, if you just received the kick-off and you turn it over there and you've asked questions of the defence, I think you'd be pretty satisfied with that as well.
That's McGillivray rolling up his sleeves and getting involved in the middle. This is Brown with a cut-out pass to Ryan Hall. Great pass, Kevin Brown. Ryan Hall kicks it back on the inside. Lomax is after it, but Thurston is across to cover. The tireless workman. He's got the razzle and dazzle, but he's got that work ethic as well, hasn't he, John Thurston?
Fantastic skill, wasn't it, from Thurston? I mean, you can't blame Ryan Hall there. He literally took a punt with the kick-in field, and you thought it was a good decision initially, but he's just sweeping from the other side of the field, and the skill level to clean that kick up was tremendous.
That's Clemmer, just beyond the 40-metre mark, but Kevin Brown's heart will be thumping a little easier now, won't it, with that pass that set Hall on his way. 6th is the next. So he's a man who can launch the ball high in the air, Inglis. And Lomax will collect a bit of snow as it comes down, but he dodges away from Valentine Holmes and he gets away almost from Tyson Frizzell. So England with McGillivray. That's good work from Jermaine McGillivray, bouncing away and really forcing the Australians onto the back foot. And as so often happens in the Super League, a penalty is given when Jermaine McGillivray returns the ball because he's so difficult to deal with by defenders.
Well, you've got to compliment.
Oh, he's done it again. They failed to find touch again. Well, that's a shocker, an absolute shocker.
It really is, and McGillivray was tremendous winning that penalty. He bumped off English, who came to try and put a big tackle on him, and then wins the penalty, and then just for that lapse of concentration.
That's all you had to do there was get over the touchline, and you have one set of 6 just before half-time.
Instead, it's Australia attacking. Inglis looking for room to offload, can't do so. We're going to go back. The referee was playing an advantage. Back for a penalty for a foul on Boyd Cordner.
Yeah, a shoulder charge, I believe.
I think they'll go for goal, yeah?
I'm certain they will.
I think they will now. I think that little noise in the background has taken any doubt of this situation.
But that's the difference, you know, at this level. There's the shoulder.
And that was late. Slow motion or normal time.
Yeah.
Late and cheap.
I don't need to listen to anybody, mate. I made decisions. Just go back. Elliot, go back.
Well, if it costs them 2 points, it's just ill discipline, isn't it? That's the top and bottom of it.
I think it's frustration from, you know, missing the kick and then coming in with a late shot, where this should have been England going for,
Yep.
you know, some points just before half-time, putting the pressure on Australia. 2 little mistakes, and then now it's an opportunity for Australia to take a 4-point lead.
So this will be the last kick of the half, unless of course it falls in the field of play and England can somehow take it back 100 yards.
Why are you
score a
saying
try.
England are going to have a conversion if it's not the last kick of the half?
I think it will be the last kick of the half. So Thurston is taking his time.
Yes, mate.
England players
Okay.
will have their fingers crossed here. It's one of those rare Jonathan Thurston misses, but he's landed a much more difficult one already from the right touchline. Sets it off right, will curl it in, no doubts about that one. The flags are up from the touch judges. Thurston's kick makes it, confirms it as Australia's half by 10 points to 6. Sam Burgess having given that away, but plenty in there to encourage England in that first half. Let's go down to the touchline and hear from Tanya with that half-time score of Australia 10, England 6.
Well, Chris Hill with me. Chris, are you frustrated because you've done some good things in that first half?
Yeah, we've done a lot of good things. Few silly things by ourselves, not kicking it out on 2 penalties and then getting a few cheap penalties away. And I think we were probably better side for the first 35 minutes.
Is that going to be the key in the second half? You're going to want to win that. You've got to cut all that stuff
Yeah,
out.
we've got to cut that out against the top teams, haven't we? And we know we can compete with best from that we did for the first 30 minutes.
Thanks for your time, Chris. Bring in Cooper Cronk. Cooper, what do you make of that first half?
Yeah, it's good test match football. I think both teams really physical through the middle third and a little sloppy on our penalties, but I hope we can tidy up that area, play the ball down the other and score some points.
Do you feel you're frustrating England?
Oh, look, I think both teams are. They're both playing really good football, holding possession, but I think we need to execute our plays a little better and capitalise on the field position.
Thanks for your time, Cooper.
Thank you so much.
And as he heads into the dressing room, we'll look at the stats from that first 40 minutes here at the London Stadium. More territory and more possession for Australia. England making 85 tackles. Their defence has been very, very good. Not much difference in the repeat sets either, 9 and 8. And yet, as they go into the dressing room, you just from an English perspective, you sort of want to go,
we're just a little bit frustrated, aren't we? Because I think England have got themselves into the lead and we're building. And it's a couple of things that are in their control that's become most frustrating. Things missing touchline kicks at a test match is scandalous. There's nothing short. They paint the white line on the side. You only got to get it over the white line. I'm serious. They paint the white lines. Just get it out and make sure. And then a couple of ill-disciplined things towards the back end of the half have given Australia a lead that England are going to have to fight hard to get over top of again.
Because there have been lots of positives from an England perspective as well, but it's those silly errors, isn't it?
Yeah, their goal line defence has been excellent. You know, Australia were camped down there. We saw the possession there, I think 61% territory possession in the favour of the Australians, and they got asked plenty of questions on their goal line. They defended really well and they backed it up with a couple of good transitional sets after that. So they'll be still very, very positive. They're very much in the game.
Yeah, I thought they defended the line very well, did England. Australia just were probing. They were exploring for weaknesses in that England line, and England didn't really show many. There was maybe one defensive lapse that cost England, but the game's defined by little moments, and we spoke about composure and control, and Cronk and Thurston, They've not had a spectacular half by any stretch, but have been composed and at the right times have come up with the right plays. And I suppose that's the worrying thing for England at half-time, is they've done a lot of great things, but Australia look ominous. They're very controlled about the things that they do.
Of course, England scored the first try, and when you were watching this, you spotted something in the previous play before we actually look at the try.
Well, I think what's really important about the England try is the importance of big men being able to pass to big men. James Graham hands the ball on to Tom Burgess, who's just come onto the field. You see all the Australian defenders get interested. What they needed was a defender to get in the wheel and get in the loop and go and help Thurston and Greg Inglis out on this side. Widdop's very smart, spots it, lines himself up opposite Thurston, which instantly creates a 4-on-3. Early ball, Johnny Lomax probably slowing it down, doesn't do it justice. What a great pass that is to McGilvery, and what a great structured try. You know, we spot this pass again, great ball from Johnny Lomax, great take from McGilvery. You know, I think the promising thing for England is when they've wanted to, they've broken this Australian defence down, and we've spotted a couple of things there that's really, really hopeful for England with the ball.
Yeah, I think certainly on the edges there, they can keep probing it. If they get some really good field position, especially down Australia's right-hand edge. If they can have a little bit more of a crack down there, there's certainly been a couple of opportunities. They got a reset of 6 down there when Dugan touched the ball. So certainly they were a little bit out of shape at times, the Aussies.
And I think we need to play like the Australians. And what I mean by like that, it's a little bit like Chinese water torture, drip, drip, drip. The Aussies, John's mentioned there, they'll just probe and they'll probe and probe and hope that you crack. Now, we've got to be played similarly, because we've seen there that the England team can absolutely open this Australian team up with smart play. So just be a little bit more patient and do the little smarts.
As far as the Australian try is concerned?
Yeah, well, at international level, you know, sometimes the game's defined by little moments. Mark Percival, young centre, I play with him at St Helens. He's been trying to be proactive. He's thinking, right, I'm going to be aggressive and go and stop the ball. You've got to be really good and get your timing just right to stop that play. And he was just a fraction of a second out, and Boyd came up with a brilliant pass to the winger, and Ferguson nearly put his foot in touch, didn't, and a try for Australia, and England would be disappointed with that. That's really their only defensive lapse.
We often have this argument, though, don't we? The nature of analysis is that you often pick out the defensive flaws when there's a try, and at the same time, from a fan's perspective and enjoying it, you just want to applaud the pass from Boyd.
It's an amazing pass, yeah. And Percival, you know, if he'd have come up with stop the play, that was the right decision. But Boyd's skill and execution made it the wrong decision.
It's a necessary skill for fullbacks these days to be able to, keep their hands on the ball for a very minimum amount of time and be able to flick it on either to the centre or to the winger. And that was a great bit of play there from Boyd. We've seen both fullbacks do it at both ends of the field.
Are there training drills that you work on with fullbacks for that very reason?
Definitely, all the time. Obviously, you do a lot of training, edge on edge, and as you've seen there, John spoke about centres coming to shut the play down, and they're put under pressure. So it's definitely a skill that fullbacks practice a lot.
All right, let's take a look. England did have a couple of other opportunities, didn't they? And they just haven't taken their chances.
Yeah, Brian mentioned before the game, you don't get many chances in international rugby, and England created a few. If we look at this, it gets down to man on man, and Justin spotted the Australian number 4 Dugan in this situation. Turns in, Percival's got an opportunity. If this pass goes to hand, I think Percival scores a try there. And it's a really small opportunity, but massive in the context of the game.
Yeah, I think picking up on that feature, Kevin Brown will have done here, and here again you see Percival catches the ball there. He's hard to stop from that way out. So Josh Dugan's certainly been attracted towards the ball carrier, which is an opportunity for England in the second half. But even on the England's right-hand side, they have that opportunity as well.
Is that the composure that we've been talking about?
It is the composure. I think both attack and defence. I think sort of Josh Dugan, most probably doesn't play in the front line in the NRL. He plays a lot of fullback, so sometimes gets a little bit jumpy there. And obviously from the attacking point of view, just got to be composed. Take the opportunities. When you see that centre turning in, make sure you make the right play.
The discussion that you had, or the point you were making right at the start of England's kicks and not making the most of them, not getting them over the whitewash. The Australian kicks have been pinpoint, every single one of them.
Yeah, I mean, if our viewers just watch this, it's a skill in itself. Cronk's kick here it's an unbelievable catch from Percival. That's a great defensive take, but because they're in this part of the field, they can chip away at Australia. Another inside reverse kick from Cronk, and it lands on the goal line. I often say to kickers, if the ball hits the back line, it's 10 metres too big because it's gone out. So just aim for that front line. And you see here, Cronk's just a genius at finding the right pressure plays. And I don't think similarly Australia have had to field any pressure kicks.
No, there's no better tactical kicker in World Rugby, I don't think, than Cooper Cronk. He's a possession kicker, so he's not necessarily flamboyant, maybe like a Chris Sandow in Super League who'll create a kick and manufacture kicks. Cooper Cronk has the same setup every time he kicks the ball, very consistent, puts the ball in really difficult spots consistently, and international level, Justin, that's a massive skill to have in your side.
Practices phenomenally hard on it. I was lucky enough to work with him for a couple of years at the Storm, and he works so hard on his kicking game, you know, before training, during the session. He asks for people to put pressure on him, and it's no fluke that he puts it on the front line, as Brian's talking about so often, because he just, you know, he spends hours and hours on the training field.
But there was every type of kick there, wasn't there? And when we had Kurt Gidley on last week and we were talking to him about kicking, it's the hang time as well as landing it on the whitewash as well.
Exactly, and also the communication to the outside men. Can put it all the way to the winger, can put it to the centre, can put it on the head of the opposition halfback. So that communication, you also got to remember we've got defenders coming at him with a lot of pressure as well. So we saw one there, he had a little bit of pressure, jinked off the right foot and was able to force a line drop out. So that's a very composed halfback in Cooper Cronk.
Let's go back to the touchline down there, shall we? Tanya Arnold has a special guest with her.
I do indeed. I have Adam Hill, of course, from the last leg. Adam, you're a big rugby league fan. Have you enjoyed that first half?
I've loved that first half. I've loved that both teams have really gone at it. They both had chances, and I love that Australia are in front.
You should be supporting England because you're a big Rabbitohs fan, aren't you? We've got more Rabbitohs players on our side than you've got on Australia.
You have. I was worried before, like if they clash, if Greg Inglis goes head-to-head with Sam Burgess, if there's a scuffle, I'm going to feel like a dad. I'm going to have to separate them and go, now, you two, you should know better.
Do you follow the sport a lot while you're over here?
As much as I possibly can.
Do you have an English team as well to go alongside?
I don't have an English team yet. I don't know who to support yet. And see, I support the Rabbitohs because my dad grew up in Rabbitohs territory, as did his dad in Sydney. So when I was a baby, my dad came to the hospital with a red and green rabbit for me. So there has to be some emotional connection for me, and I haven't found that yet with an English team.
We'll have to send you on a tour of the north of England and see where you fall in love with.
Do you know what? After this week, I reckon Scotland might win me over.
You're a big Scotland fan. Is there any chance you've been so successful, done some fantastic things for Paralympic sport with your programme? How about a rugby league themed one?
I mean, it's a sad state of affairs when you go, disability sport is neglected. What's lower down the rung? Rugby league. I think so. I think maybe a last leg rugby league version. And do you know what? If we do, though, it won't be called the last leg. It'll be called something my dad taught me when I played rugby league, which is they can't run without legs.
Oh, very good. In fact, I think we've got an idea here, haven't we? You're going to go out and sell this one.
Good evening. Welcome to They Can't Run Without Legs. We're just going to make sure we don't use that for the Paralympics show, because then that's just going to be awkward.
Well, it's fantastic talking to you. I have to say, I hope you don't enjoy the second half quite so much.
Listen, no matter what happens, I know for Australia we've still got next weekend.
Indeed, so give us the game, hey?
I'll do what I can to sabotage it.
Cheers, Adam. Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Very nice with Adam Hills and Tanya pitching her programme ideas as well. So there we go, joint interview, joint programme idea meeting. The England dressing room there, we see Kevin Brown right in the middle of it. How did that first 40 minutes go for him, John?
Yeah, I thought, look, he felt his way into the game. I think maybe a couple of tricky moments, you know, a bit of kick pressure, didn't maybe find the kick he wants, but you can see him organising, getting the pieces around him that he needs to. And you know, when we spoke about Dugan turning in, a lot of those plays came from Kevin Brown maybe executing on the inside, so we need to give him some credit for that. But
I think he's grown into the game, as John says. His kicks got better as the game progressed. And I just think early on he was just a little bit nervous and was just happy to get kicks away. Now he needs to put the quality that we see Cronk putting it on. But defensively, he's been in the system, he's been good. He needs to step up a little bit in the second half, I mean.
Yeah, again, I think I agree there with Brian. I think he's really warmed himself into the game. He's going to have to continue to grow, because I think that's the side that they need to go. I think they really need to go down Kevin Brown's side. They've looked very dangerous there. And, you know, again, if you can mix it up with that short kicking game, if they can get some field position, they'll certainly have some try-scoring opportunities.
I thought you lifted your mic up then. I thought you were going to say something, Brown.
No, I was just looking at the pictures that we're seeing there, and Wayne Bennett individually going around a few people for a few pick-me-ups or whatever, a few little tips to get their the game on song in the second half.
It's in the balance, isn't it? There's not a lot. We've spoken about England's missed opportunities and maybe Australia, how clinical they've looked, but all of that put into the pot, there's a very small margin between these two sides. Whoever starts this second half and executes and is composed for maybe a 10, 15, 20-minute spell of rugby is going to be in a great position to win this game at the end. And when you're in this situation as a player, you know that you're going to have to do the hard work at the start of this half, execute, be composed, come up with the right plays, because then at the back end of the game you're going to give you a chance, or yourselves a chance to win. And that's England's biggest opportunity, is to give themselves an opportunity, a shot at beating Australia here, and they're in a position to do that.
We spoke about their remarkable defensive effort from England during that first 40 minutes. Just in how hard is it to keep that going for the whole of the second half, not just physically but mentally?
Yeah, it's very difficult. That's why we talk about territory, field position is really, really important. And I think this second half, the team that defends their penalties or defends their errors the best are going to go on and win the game. We've seen 13 penalties in the game, so they're going to play a part in the second half. So if you give them away and you can defend them and stop the team from either getting a repeat set or worse, getting a try, you're going to be a really good chance of going on to win the game.
Because actually, just in the build-up to that England try, we ought to give credit to John Bateman for his tackle right on the try line down in front of us, which seemed to knock him out. Well, not knock him out, but he seemed a little bit dazed for about a minute or two afterwards.
There's been 2 or 3 efforts on the England line that have been noteworthy, and are those try-saving moments that I'm confident previously we may have conceded. They're certainly up for this game, England. They've just got to have that little bit of clarity at the other end of the field, and that little bit of a better kicking game. Because for me at the moment, Cronk is the difference between the two teams.
Yeah, make your chances, take your chances. England have made them, they need to take them in this second half.
Sam Burgess has led England out, as you can see. The Australians are not coming out at the moment. The Australians will be out very shortly as the fireworks go off. Remember, England need to win this game or draw it after New Zealand's 18-all draw with Scotland in the Four Nations on Friday night at Workington. So a win or a draw would be enough for England to make the final at Anfield next Sunday and play Australia all over again. And we'll have coverage of that, of course, for you next Sunday afternoon here on the BBC. But as Australia come back out here at the London Stadium, let's return to our commentary team of John Keir, Jonathan Davis and Dave Woods.
So England in with a chance here, very much in the game, and it has been a recurrent theme of recent years, though, hasn't it? England in with a chance. Four Nations a couple of years ago, very close to New Zealand and Australia in those two games. Didn't quite punch out the win.
I just think, the boys are right in studio, they just have to be patient. Not chase the game, not try and throw them, the miracle pass in their own half. Australia won't change, okay? They will just play the exit, strategy, get the good kick and put pressure on you. When they get an opportunity, they'll try and go repeat sets or put a kick up so, one of the outside backs can score. So England have to be patient, just wait, and then when the opportunity comes, take it. But don't push anything yet.
Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed the first 40 minutes, and I'm looking forward to this second 40 minutes. And it's been what it says on the tin. It's a test match. It tests your physical resolve, your mental resolve, and your skill. And that's what we're seeing out there on this field of play.
But the $64,000 question is, do these England players truly believe they can win against Australia on the big stage here today and maybe at Anfield again next week? We'll have our answers, at least in part, in 40 minutes' time, as Australia bring it forward through Sam Thaiday. Cameron Smith up at dummy half, this opening set of 6. He's Dave Clemenau driving it towards the halfway line on tackle 5. So the Aussies will be looking for a kick from Cronk, who chips it over the top. It should be bagged by Hall. He just had to readjust a little, but a safe catch in the end. And England will start their set on the 30-metre mark.
Yeah, quick play the ball now. Good yardage, good kick.
Percival dodging back into the middle.
Move, Cameron.
Hodgson up at dummy half. To his right-hand side, he's got Watkins again. Callum Watkins trying to cut back in, jam back in. create a bit of an angle, but the Aussies are there to meet him. Now Sam Burgess puts it back to Brown. Brown to Lomax. Lomax, the fullback, in forward with a little drop of their hips, but across comes the copybook tackle of Cooper Cronk. So England with a bit of a platform to work from here.
Good set.
This is good. Bateman gets up and plays it. Tackle 5. Brown puts it back. Little jab into the in-goal area by Widdop, but Australia bring it out. And then Stark Valentine-Holmes just back inside the field of play.
That was a really good set though from England, because they created some space on the England left-hand side once again. Half got the noses through the defensive line, and then that was a good end of set, and really they're making Australia work their way out from their goal line this half.
That's
good.
Big hits going in here, aren't there? Elliot Whitehead there, getting involved in muscular fashion, as was Sam Burgess. Sam Fide now brings it forward. 5 tackles, and I don't think Australia have been restrained to such a small yardage.
Yeah, that's
so
the best
far.
defensive set so far by England. Really matched them, good line speed, and that's so much more space now. Look at Lomax, look where the ball is returned.
Again,
more pressure on Cronk.
They could catch it on the full, because that's the reward for that energy front-loading in defence.
Percival cutting back again here. We'll be going and hearing what they've said in the sheds, the dressing rooms at half-time in just a second, but this game is wonderfully poised at the moment here as England have a bit of an advantage at the start of the second half. George Burgess rolling it in, they're on the front foot, no doubt about that. Here's Brown, who's almost through. Almost. It was the tackle of Cordner that brought him down. Hodgson dummies right and goes left, and then finds a gap. Nearly.
Brilliant.
I don't think any criticism of Sam Burgess. That was a very, very difficult pass to take.
It was a gilt-edged opportunity, wasn't it? But once again, a really interesting tactic this second half. They're doubling up both Kevin Brown and Gareth Widdop on the right-hand side, and then that half caused that for Hodgson, who almost got the pass away, but it's a nasty-looking injury as well in the background, isn't it?
His ankle's gone. Just watch, his foot gets caught underneath.
Oh, that is a blow, that isn't it?
You'd be disappointed he didn't take that. It was a really, really difficult take, but the opportunity, he tracked Hodgson through a couple of dummies. First initial break by, Kevin Brown. Brilliant show and go, and he's away, and then nearly under the 6 by Burgess.
Well, this is a worry for England, because the only specialist hooker, Josh Hodgson, is obviously in a bit of strife here. George Williams will be on from the bench. They'll have to have a makeshift in that dummy half's role if he has to go off here.
I think his right foot, just watch. That could be either foot, they're both.
Yes.
Doesn't look good, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Well, while he's being attended to, let's find out what was said in the dressing rooms at half-time. Tanya Arnold.
Well, Wayne Bennett said, we're beating ourselves, giving penalties away, and our errors are killing us. He is pleased, though, with the defence and the work rate. Interestingly, it was Thomas Burgess who led the rallying cry as they left the dressing room, shouting, let's go, come on, we can do this. But you got a big cheer from his teammates as they came out. Mal Meninga has told his team to keep persevering. He's happy with what they're doing, but he wants his side to be more direct. He said that we need to be quicker with the play the balls. Interestingly, George Williams was warming up as they came out. He's been warming up pretty much since the start of the half, so I think he was due to come on fairly soon anyway, but looks like he's readying himself.
Well, Hodgson's okay. A couple of big fellas either side. Wrap his arms around and took his head into that scrum.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he goes, next couple of tackles.
Well, George Williams has played a fair bit of rugby league at hooker in the junior ranks at Wigan, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Oh, I'm not worrying, John. I'm just stating fact.
It's not ideal, John, is it? Not ideal this early on.
There he is, George Williams. Sitting down for the moment, but he'll be anxious to play his role, I'm sure. Clemmer drives it in. Australia trying to rumble forward here. The green and gold machine. The England fans are striking up a note to try and encourage their team in defence. But on tackle 4, Australia are up to the halfway line here. And left, it shifted to Thurston. Inside for Thaiday. Smith, 6th tackle. Cronk, a chip and a chase. There was an arm. I think there's a penalty coming here. Oh, no. I thought there was an arm left out by Tom Burgess.
I think they got the last tackle wrong there. I didn't think they realised it was the last tackle, so
Hold, stay square. Hold.
rush the kick.
England to bring it away. McGillivray taken by Clemmer. To get up and play it, he does. And another big hit forward by a big fellow with Burgess on his back. Hodgson, and here comes Brown, and another of the Burgesses, George Burgess. It's a blur of Burgesses out there at the moment. 5 gone. Hodgson on the 6. Brown with a kick downfield, looking for green grass, but finding the welcoming chest of Darius Boyd, who offers it inside for Valentine Holmes, whose head snaps back as the tackle rattles into his ribcage. And Australia, again, with yards to make, and Ferguson.
He's a very, very dangerous runner, he is, Blake Ferguson, I'm telling you. They've got to keep their eye on him, because if he gets half a chance...
It's into the hands of Clemmer. His leg strength is good, and the offload is good. He's drawn 3 defenders in, and has still gotten it away. And Cameron Smith shuffles up to the 20-metre mark. 2 tackles for England to survive, 2 tackles for Australia to have a go here. Thurston with the inside pass. Clemmer now keeps it alive. Smith offers it out. Frizzell knows only one way, direct and with power and purpose, but England match it in every regard. Smith left to Cronk. Cronk across to Thurston. Thurston with a kick. Watkins drops on it, knocks on. He was really unlucky there.
Yeah, he was. Lovely little kick. Thurston left foot there, put it behind the English defenders. Try to take it in left hand, just knocks it on. But again, good defence by England. They covered the attack.
Different type of end of set there wasn't it? It was second receiver that time. It's been, the norm's been Cronk at first receiver. That time went through 2 pairs of hands to try and bring the edge defence of England up. But they handled it pretty well, although the knock-on was very unfortunate for Watkins.
Stay there, Gareth, please. Cameron, head in, please. All the way.
Australia
Bowling now.
in a familiar position here. 10 yards out and coming down this blind side. Inglis with a carry, and with a first play from the back of the scrum. Greg Inglis, that man mountain of a 3-quarter, forces his way over, and Australia early in this second half have a 2-score lead.
They are smart. They are very, very smart indeed, this Australian side. You see, as they lined up at the scrums, they put 3 men on the short side. They started off with 2 on the short side, and very late, the 3rd man came across, and it really made it 1-on-1.
There's the knock-on first of all. Very unlucky there, Callum Watkins. Had to go to instinct.
There you see, come from the side, and it just puts that doubt in and allowed Inglis to isolate. It was Gareth Widder, just got on his outside shoulder, showed the dummy there that sent McGillivray over, and that's what scored. But it was that late change to make it 3-on-2. Really smart play from Australia there that created that half chance that Inglis took.
That's a clever play as well, because with the loose forward, I'm not sure if it's Johnny Lomax, when they packed down in the scrum, and the late run just caught Widder on the inside shoulder. You can't afford to give that guy any space that close to the line. He is a brilliant finisher, Inglis.
Well, he's been impeccable so far with his kicking duties. 3 out of 3. 8-point lead Australia have right now. So England having to score twice as the game stands at the moment. Tom Burgess and Sam Burgess retiring to the sidelines, and an interchange having been made there. So Thurston from the touchline, left-hand side, he kicks them from all over the field. He is a wonderful, wonderful goal kicker. He's not a bad try scorer, and he's a happy coach. Australia lead here by 16 points to 6.
He's a wonderful rugby league player, Jonathan Thurston, he really is. The kicks have been real difficult as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
And they've never looked as if they're going to miss at all. And it just sickens a team when you concede 4 and it suddenly becomes 6.
Dominate!
So England having to score twice, Australia sitting pretty. They already knew that they were going to be in that Four Nations final next week. It's Ferguson, I think, who's hurt himself here, or has been hurt.
I think it's
Sam Thaiday, yeah.
It's Big Sam, isn't he?
Fair collision that, isn't it? James Graham v Sam Thaiday.
He's copped one, isn't he?
Sam slammed. There's a clash of heads, wasn't
Clash
it?
of heads, yeah.
I think they're going to take him off for the concussion protocol.
Yeah, they've got to check that.
Yeah.
How does James Graham get up and walk away from that, by the way? How tough is that skull we're looking at the moment?
Well, sometimes it's just got to go. You get away with it, you know. There's no intent there.
No, it's
there's no sympathy for Sam either, has he? The Thaiday. There's a bit of lack of respect, Gillette reckons. He's got to say, come on, Sam, that didn't hurt you just playing.
He doesn't need to come near, so he needs to move. Take him away. Take him away. I've just asked you to take him away. Take him away, please. You take him away, please. I'll play the ball here. There's a head clash and the further ball is back there.
Well, they both have a reputation. Cameron Smith and James Graham are not backwards in coming forwards and having a word where it might not be wanted, especially with the referee.
Back on.
They both know the game they're at. But Australia bringing it out here.
And it is a concussion interchange. The fourth official there have the green card up. So that means Thaiday will go off and the doctor will look at him and he's got 15 minutes to return.
He's not looking too good walking behind the post, to be honest. So
that's Ferguson. That's Thaiday. He's had to halt his walk to the sidelines to get a breather even there. Australia wriggling forward, keeping it alive. Here's Clemmer pushing off the advances of Hodgson. Graham hangs on, two more there, and again the referee, having watched for an advantage,
I think it's
gives
a
an Australian penalty.
here, Dave. Just watch.
I think you're right, Jonathan.
He done him with the old step, left a trailing leg out.
So penalty Australia, which will carry them inside the England half. It's a really key part of the game here, isn't it? England, from their point of view, have to keep a focus here because there is a danger as the game gets broken up a little bit. Australia having already scored.
Oh yeah, trip.
Yeah, left him no option, did he really? He made the referee's decision for him.
It's a big set for England, this.
England cannot afford to concede again here. Australia know if they score again, they are absolutely in the driving seat. This is Scott, who's looking to set the platform up 5 metres away from that England line. Options right and left. Smith brings it left. Here comes Darius Boyd, offering a real threat. Dragged down by England defenders. Smith again. England have got 3 tackles to survive. Thurston, the magician, down the middle. What? Through all those bodies, weaving away. Gets it back again. But England's defence remains strong.
Line, great.
Just. Smith. It's with Cronk. And Cronk goes direct. A couple of times we've seen him do that. And a couple of times England have come up with the answer. 6th tackle. Smith. Oh, it hits an England player. And it's going to be another set of 6, I think. Unless Widdop gets on it, which he does, and England have it back again. What a break that is for England.
He did really well, Gareth Widdop, though, then. Played the ball first, and hasn't he?
Well, it was 1-on-1, but the referee deciding he wasn't square at marker. That's why the penalty was given. So England, having been under real duress at one end, suddenly find themselves with a chance to play back deep inside the Australian half.
Big play by Widdop. He's good block and he regathered the ball. A repeat set would have been very testing for England.
James Graham stoutly forward again.
Move that, Cameron, hold with me.
Hodgson
Hold.
wants it played quickly, wants to test the Aussies. Goes left to Hill, and he's got the power and the footwork, but he's wrapped up by green and gold.
David.
11 away. 4 tackles to go. Widdop on the inside. This now is Whitehead. Held up and pushed back.
Move. Goal line. Hold.
Watkins dashes in there. Widdop again, slides it into the in-goal area. That's a better kick. That was a really good kick from Widdop because it forced Cooper Cronk to put that ball dead, and England, all things being equal, should get the ball back again.
Yeah, nothing else on, so just put it in the in-goal, start again, fresh set.
He's come up with two big plays, hasn't he, Gareth Widdop? That was a lovely little dribble into the in-goal that forced the Australians to palm it over the dead ball line, but he claimed the ball at the other end, if you remember, as well, at the start of that passage. So he's come up with two little pieces of play that have been very, very important for England.
He's picking his act up, just as his coach demanded before the game. So England with 6 attempts to bust this Aussie line in this set. There's tackle 1.
Hold.
Hodgson is back there.
Wait, go.
Looks to his left and sees what's on. It's Cooper, Mike Cooper, who's bustling forward. Fresh pair of legs, big fella as well, Mike Cooper. Now it comes to Hill. It's quickly across to Widdop. Widdop pushes it back. Watkins has to twist and turn to take it. But look at that from Callum Watkins. He's a world-class centre at his best, and he's shown some glimpses of it here today. Graham. Aussie defenders wrapping together to hold him at bay. Hill to Hodgson. Hodgson has lost it. It's back to 1. It was an Aussie hand. It was an Aussie hand. So Percival can run it back.
0.
And the 6 tackle count starts again from here. Great opportunity from England now. Graham again, the direct route. Blocked, but only just.
Well, again, it's the third set, isn't it, on the line, so this is a great opportunity.
Hodgson out of dummy half, hurling it to Brown. Brown now misses out a couple, finds Percival. Percival trying to cut back in. Australia matching them for numbers.
Plenty of tackles.
Ryan Hall is the dummy half. It's back with Brown, who's going to have a little go himself here, Kevin Brown. Quick-footed, quick-witted. Cooper turns to pass, dummies, goes for the line, put down. Hodgson, still a couple of tackles to go. Brown again dribbles it to that in-goal area, not quite the kick he wanted, and it's given Boyd the chance to come up with a rescue play for the Aussies.
Well, we've got to applaud the green and golds there. 3 sets defending their own end. Absolutely tremendous defence. But I'm certain it's taken a bit of energy out of them as well.
And what about this set in defence from England? Because 3 tackles gone, Australia make that 4, and they barely got to 15 metres here.
Discipline now.
Give a penalty away, it would be an absolute coach killer, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
6 tackles, so Australia having to kick from deep. England rolling away efficiently. Here he comes again, the dynamite booted Greg Inglis. He hits the ball, doesn't he? But it's caught by Lomax to run it back. An element of brokenness to that Australian defence, but look who's up there. Inglis, having booted it, is the first man up there to make the tackle.
And just trying to take the pressure off his forwards.
Move, Greg. Hold, Cameron. Hold this
Claiming it might have been fumbled by Watkins. The touch judge on the near side's having nothing to do with that.
This is a good set as well by the Australians.
Hall.
Good run by Hall.
Chiming in.
They seem to sense, don't they, when they just need to pick the game on, just that level of intensity slightly.
Knock on by Ryan Hall has given head and feet to the Australians at the scrum.
It'll be interesting to see how long Hodgson stays on for, because I think he's lost that snap out of acting half-back. You know, they like to do that little run around as an attacking play.
Yeah, lost ball there from Hall, but let's look at the Australians. They defend 3 sets on their own line. They struggle to get out of there. They put a monster kick in from Inglis, and then they really step that defensive effort up and force the error. First class play.
Yeah, I was conscious of that one going into that.
Jermaine, stand square.
So,
when you play the ball.
what impact can he have?
Stand square. Stand
What's
square.
expected of him now, George
Heads
Williams?
in, boys,
To be a
please.
running
Stand up.
threat.
Yes.
That's what it will be, because there should be some tired bodies out there. And this is when a man with his strength, his pace, can possibly make a difference. Because one thing about the Australian pivotal players, the 6 and 7, Cronk and Thurston, they're both happy to run with the ball.
Here is Cronk. Right, it goes to Josh Dugan, and Dugan making some progress down that right-hand side. Australia rolling themselves back inside the English half again. They're a good team, aren't they, Australia? Goes without saying, but they really are.
Holding him in.
Cameron Smith Stands and waits. Clever. Twisting, wants the offload, but he's not going to be allowed to get that ball away from those defenders. Here's Smith, 20 yards out. Australia in possession at the moment. Thurston now brings it back on the inside for Inglis to try and crash through. Inglis taking some stopping here. Eventually put down. 2 tackles to go. Australia closing in. Cameron Smith again. Scott will just hammer it in, and he's got that down. He has scored that, Matt Scott. I'm not sure how, and the England players are asking why, because there were enough of them there, but sheer determination, Matt Scott has got that ball on the line.
Well, I think you could put that down to the previous play from Greg Inglis. Again, it was an inside ball against the grain of the defence. Inglis took some hauling down, and England just couldn't get reset well enough. And by the time they had somebody smart like Smith, picks the ball up, takes it forward, and then Scott crashes onto it to score. Clever again, but I think it's his previous play here. There's the one, through he goes. Look at the leg drive there, really difficult to put down. They just can't get set. As you see, Hill's retreating, they're not set, they're not spaced properly, and over he goes.
Yeah, he's running at Hodgson. You know, it's a mismatch. Just watch one angle. You can't stop him. Try. But they just do everything so effectively. You know, I was talking to Justin, who's in studio this morning. They're just relentless. You know, they just do the right things at the right time, and they keep on doing them, and they keep on doing it, and then they get the special players to do the special things in the right attacking areas. But the majority of the Australians are just robotic. They'll do their job and keep on doing it to the high intensity. It wears people's sides down, and then they score tries, and it's, you know, brilliantly effective.
Thurston looking for his 5th from 5. One of the simpler attempts at goal he's had today, and no mistake. England 6, Australia 22. It's going to take something very, very special now for England to come back from here.
They're just smart, aren't they? That was the correct play, a simple but effective play on the back of that burst from Greg Inglis. Really clever player who are used to playing at a high intensity, where the skill and desire is questioned week in and week out.
Scott, the try scorer, is the man who leads it back out again here. Well, there is time for England. 20 minutes left to play.
2, release that ball.
They don't often concede 22 points plus on the team in green and gold, David.
It's only 16. They only need 16.
Over the course of 80 minutes.
3, mark, release. All night cold.
So Australia in the driving seat. Mal Meninga said when he came here, he wanted to put the green and golds right back on the top of Test Match Rugby League, and they are doing that in style now. Josh Dugan skips over for their 3rd try in this second half. England's hearts are being ripped out by this wonderfully efficient and wonderfully talented Australian side.
It's not scoring 16 points, it's conceding 60 points is the worry, I think. You know, the tails are up now, and again, it's not a magic play here. Not a magic play, you know, just drive it up, and then all of a sudden there's a break, and there's brilliant support. Short side, use of the short side. So here we go, short side.
They've spotted Percival retreating, so they go down that side. It's 3v2, a running half-back, which is what Cronk is, and he times his pass perfectly. And that's how to back up. You've already scored one try, back it up with another.
But again, it's Cameron Smith. He runs out of half-back. Cameron Smith is a genius. I tell you what, he just takes the face so nonchalantly, just gets around. But he's out to half-back. He commits the first defender, creates the overlap. Brilliant play. Brilliant use of the short side.
It's just that recognition, is it, Jonathan? He saw Percival retreating. He knew that defensive line's not set, and where does he go? Exactly to that space.
He's here again. The little fella, the immortal, or one day will be, Jonathan Thurston. Golden Boot winner 3 times, International Player of the Year, 2011, 2013 and 2015, Jonathan Thurston. We possibly haven't seen him sparkle as much as he can do today, because others have been doing that in his stead. But his goal kicking has been pretty good, and it remains a 100% record that he has, and it remains 6 points for England, but it is now 28 for Australia.
It's brilliant, this isn't it? Just look at Cronk's hiding behind the ruck area, spots the late retreaters, makes it 3-on-2, and they've got the skill to then execute the play perfectly. So clever.
England have gone for the short restart here. I don't think it went 10 metres. Oh, yes it did. It did go 10 metres, and it was an Australian hand that put it out of play. So there's a bit of a bonus from England's point of view. Head and feet at the scrum.
Yeah, well, they've got to try something different.
Just. And then taken out of play by Dugan.
Well, we'll take... England will take what they're given. I don't think we'll change the result anyway, Dave.
Well, we're just having another look here. They are checking this just to make sure it has gone 10 metres. Yes, it has. Oh, it's the touch they're looking at. Yeah, and Dugan gets the last touch. So you'd have to say the naked eyes of the officials on the field absolutely spot on.
He's had a good game, hasn't he, Robert Hicks? He really has.
Best Englishman out there.
What? Move, Aaron!
That's very harsh.
Wait,
It is harsh. I mean, there's some good England performances here today, haven't there? But they're up against a very, very good Australian side who know their jobs and do them extremely well. But England now have 20 minutes to salvage something here. Can they make it a grandstand finish? Can they put some pressure on these Australians? The feature of recent matches against Australia involving England is that they don't lose by many. They don't win many, but they don't lose by many. 1 or 2 blowouts, but they've been close on a couple of occasions. Can they get back close again now? Out it goes to Lomax. Lomax to Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall is held up. Held up and short.
Good play by both teams there. Good attack, brilliant defence.
Back with Widdop with a little corkscrew kick, but Cameron Smith is there and just dodges and weaves his way back to safety again.
Well, you're speaking historically about England not losing by many. I'll tell you, no matter what test match Australia play, they don't concede many. And I think you've just seen the evidence why with that goal line defence and then sweeping up the kick play as well.
Release Elliott!
And worth reiterating just how much of a dominant force Australia have been down the years. As we said earlier, first World Cup in 1954, there have been 14 World Cups in all. Australia have won 10 of them. And they are the reigning world champions, having won in 2013. Here's a kick, which Lomax...
What a great player that Cameron Smith is.
He is.
Yeah. Just pick the ball out of dummy half, so with the space, dab it into there. If you want to score, fellas, there's 95 metres in front of you.
And that's from a kick over your own try line, which they gathered.
Which he gathered.
Cameron Smith.
So England looking to power their way out here. McGilvray, he's certainly built on his reputation in this Four Nations, hasn't he, Jerry McGilvray? The tries he's scored, the way he's played. Percival, Hodgson out of acting half again. Williams to his left, but he's gone right to Sam Burgess, and now it's a pass to Whitehead, who's trying to keep it alive, but Thurston drops on the ball. He wanted it more, he got there quicker. Australia have it back again in very decent position. England just forcing their hand as they have to do now. Nothing wrong with that, but the Australians picking up on the mistakes again. Inglis is hurting. Here's Woods.
Surrender!
17 minutes to go as Smith at dummy half. Cronk, and now with Darius Boyd, he's going to keep up his impressive record. 21st cap today, 21 victories as an Australian international. Never lost a game in the green and gold. Thurston, it comes left towards Morgan, and as the ball goes down, McGilvray has to sweep that big right foot round it.
Yeah, I think Inglis is... he dropped as the ball came left. Inglis stayed on the ground. He was struggling. Otherwise,
they were looking for him.
There was an overlap there, yeah.
They were looking for him.
Morgan was looking for him on that short ball. But there he is. He couldn't make it.
We're seeing now Australia demonstrate some great skill, aren't there? As the game's opened up a bit, but it's opened up because they've earned the right to play like that. Simply because they've done the basic process of rugby league so well.
It's just a softening up process, isn't it? You just do it, you're just relentless, you kick, you do the drives, you take the, the yardage, force England to come from their own 20-metre area all the time.
This was the moment. Ooh, flash of it again.
Yeah.
With Whitehead. But I think it's what happened much lower than that that's causing the problem.
Oh, I'm not sure.
No, he is. He's holding the side of his head. Yeah.
It's a concussion interchange again. See there, Trent Merrin entering the field of play.
So they've got a while to check him out, haven't they? And then they can shove him back on again. It doesn't count as a substitution if he goes back on again.
Yeah, 15 minutes in real time, not as indicated on the game clock.
Here's Woods driving it forward. Australia looking to set up position again here. And now it's with Thurston, who throws the dummy. Lomax is there to block his way. But Australia creeping closer again. Cameron Smith in at dummy half. Again the kick. Cronk's chasing. England survived by their fingertips to concede a dropout underneath the sticks.
He is just absolutely controlling this game now, Cameron Smith. With the help of Cronk and Thurston. Adds a little sparkle, but he's the one. Look at that.
Tremendous.
What a touch.
I mean, it looks so easy. I think people need to realise how difficult that skill is, to just weight the kick so effectively whilst you're running.
And that's the thing about Australia, is that generation upon generation, they keep producing those world-class players in those key positions, don't they? You go back to your Wally Lewis, Sterling, Kenny, through the years, Langer,
Darren Lockyer was bad.
Andrew Johns, Darren Lockyer. Every generation of English rugby league player seems to think if we can see these lot off, we'll be all right, but they just keep producing more of them.
There's a bloke called Michael Morgan, isn't there? We're seeing now who's waiting in the wings.
Yeah, he broke a few English hearts down the years as well, didn't he? Mal Meninga, 46 Australian caps, member of the Invincibles in 82 and 86, 4 tours in all, and of course his couple of years at St Helens when he scored 38 tries in 31 appearances. And how many was he running past you, Jonathan Davis?
He was a bit of a handful when he played against him, to be honest. So,
Hodgson rolls it at dummy half. England, there's a kind of a muttering discontent around the London Stadium. They need to put that right, England. They need to finish strong here. They need to get some confidence built up with a World Cup next year, of course.
The effort's been there, no doubt about that, but they're just playing against an outstanding rugby league team.
Williams with a pass, now Pawson.
Straight out.
Ryan Hall at dummy half. Here it comes, back for Cooper. Cooper takes it in.
Last move. Hold, wait.
Hodgson still out there, penalty for England. Penalty. They ain't going to go for 2 from here. So the tap taken, and England led here by Tom Burgess find themselves 10 metres away. Can they stir things with a score in this set? Williams back, Widdop runs it in, Widdop reaches, Widdop scores. England have got points back on the board, but only if the video referee is happy with this. On the field try, but what about the critical eye from in the trot? Let's hear again from our video referee, Bernard Sutton.
Coming in to tackle 2, try. Okay, just keep this going through at about that speed, so we see Sam Burgess there. All right, it appeared as though Cordner had made a decision to come in at that point, and he's beaten Cordner on the outside. We might see something from behind, if possible, please, Ken. Okay, keep this going now. A little bit faster, a little bit faster. Cordner has made a defensive decision there. He's checked on that lead runner, then he's beaten on the outside. Okay, I'm okay with that. The arm stays up and grounds the ball on the goal line. That'll be a try. Thanks, Rob. Going to the board.
Well done, Gareth Widdop. There was some purpose to that, wasn't there? And England do have a try back into double figures.
Yeah, it was a good try. They got 8 men against 6 defenders from that play the ball position there, and it's something we've been looking for the English pivots to do. Run with the ball. Both Williams at first, he took the ball forward, and then the Widdop continued with purpose, and over he went for a very good try.
Yeah, I think Matthews.
There he goes with a conversion attempt. That's safe. That's safe. So 12 for England, 28 for Australia.
Yeah, I think the dummy runner of Burgess, you know, he has a bite, doesn't he? That's the problem. I think he was one of the Australian forwards. I'm not sure which one he was, but he just took a bite on the dummy run, and that just gave him enough time to get on the outside. Thurston won't be happy with the missed tackle. A good finish.
.13 minutes to go. England need still 3 tries. It ain't impossible, but this would be a sensational comeback for England from here.
It is impossible, but it's improbable.
Four Nations final next week at the moment, of course. 2:05, I think is so I think it's a 2:30 kickoff next week, isn't it? At the moment, Australia against New Zealand. But can England produce something here?
Get square, hold, go.
Williams spun back to Widdop. Lomax, Watkins trying to keep it alive, but he's knocked it on. He's thrown it forwards. Half-hearted appeal that it was an Aussie hand that touched it, but the referee's going to give it as Australia's head and feet, as he correctly spotted.
Just a couple of Morgan gets his hand to this. Just watch. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Watkins' responsibility,
yes.
Jonathan.
I know it is.
He's got to look after the ball better than that.
He has to. The poor execution of passes haven't been great. You know, just little things like the pass, instead of being in front of the player, has just been to the behind the player, and has just checked the movement. And those little things make such a difference when you're running onto an attacking pass.
The feed is by Thurston, the collect is by Smith, and here comes Michael Morgan. Matt Scott is coming off for the final time, you'd imagine, and David Clemmer coming on. Wayne Bennett looks on, knowing that his planning now is all about next year, you'd think.
2 off the ball, Sam.
How can he turn England around with that World Cup coming in 12 months' time? Close against New Zealand. Elements of good stuff against Australia. But it's going to be a familiar story. Defeat. Merritt drives it in. Smith stands at dummy half. Here's Thurston. Cronk now. A little slip by Dugan helps the defence. Boyd. Sixth tackle is the next, so Cooper Cronk will put it high this time. Ryan Hall's underneath it. He's being helped by Williams, offering a bit of a shepherd legally. England have it. Williams.
There's a certain focus, though, with the Australian team. You feel with Cameron Smith, Jonathan Thurston, Cooper Cronk, they're in their 30s. And this may well be their last Four Nations, and this may well be coming up the last World Cup in 2017. And you just sense they want to go out with a bang as #1 nation and world champions.
Well, you'll be there as well, won't you? Wales head coach. Well done to Wales.
Looking forward to it.
First game in Port Moresby, is it, against Papua New Guinea? That'll be a test. That'll be a test for you.
Yeah, it will be a test.
And out of dummy half goes Hodgson, forlornly looking for a 40-20, picking out only Darius Boyd. Yeah, there's been some home nation joy over the last few weeks, hasn't there? England maybe not cutting the mustard, but Scotland with a memorable night against New Zealand on Friday night. They're at the World Cup next year. Their first match, I think, is against New Zealand in Christchurch, if memory serves. So that already has a story writ large across it. Ireland and Wales have qualified as well in the last couple of weeks to be there at that World Cup next year too. So a lot of home nation interest, and a steal in the tackle has given Australia a penalty here. 9 minutes to go.
Well, the English crowd came in today, didn't they, full of hope and some expectation, but they've really quieted everybody down, this Australian team.
And we've said this a few times down the years. If only this was a test series as opposed to a Four Nations, because you only get one chance to play against each other. Here comes Cronk.
You've got two tests. You've got New Zealand, which again they should have won or could have won. Sean Johnson was the difference.
You just wonder how much England would learn from this if they were to play Australia in another 2 games. You know, could they grow having what they've learned from today? This now is Clemmer, who's put down a couple of yards away. Cameron Smith officiating again at dummy half and throwing it out to that right-hand side, and the reach, is that Frizzell underneath all of that? No, it's not. It's Matt Gillett reaching out and scoring. Australia have another, and they go through the 30 mark. Oh, now they're warming up.
I think it's a bit too late though.
Well, they're calming down again, and I think something might have been said. Disrespected one side or other's honour. Sam Burgess at the heart of it.
Sam, go back. David, stay over there.
It's David Clemmer just pushing Sam Burgess. Sam Burgess responds by throwing a punch. Clemmer tries to get back in there.
I think that's
Sam's little brother's helping out.
Yeah, it's frustration as much as anything, isn't it? But still looks as if he's caught him.
Well, the cheers you hear is because the sign of David Clemmer holding a towel to his head has just gone out on the big screen.
And it's a try.
Yeah, the bottom line in all of that is that Australia have just scored another try.
With an assist from a certain Mr. Smith. Picks the ball up from dummy half, there's a lead runner, hits the man round the back and over they go.
I think the press are picking man of the match, but I think is
well, if they've watched the same game as us, I think
he's got a vote, anyway.
Yeah, I think he's got a half a chance, hasn't he?
Well, Clemmer's wearing the smiles as well as the bandage.
I don't want any more of that. No, it's a try. You will not do any more of that, otherwise you will sit down. Go away. Sam?
And have a punch to the head.
Did he cause this?
He might have started it, but he copped one for his troubles anyway. He might have said something, but there you go. In most of the sports, there might have been a red card.
I think table tennis, it would have been a red card.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, here's a try.
Brilliant try, round the back, isolates the defender, small, you know, there you go, watch a dummy run. Brilliant dummy run. Big man on small man, try.
They're clever, aren't they? They select the right, you know, they isolate players one-on-one, and if you isolate them one-on-one on the goal line, you have a heck of a chance of coming through the other side.
You've got no chance of stopping it there. You've got to get off your line very quickly, but then you're worried about the dummy runner coming, and then by the time you check, he's picked the right, the right runner, but you're on the back foot, on your try line, giving 3 stone, you've got no chance.
And here he is again, Jonathan Thurston.
Hasn't missed one yet, has he?
No, 6 out of 6. Often takes the bonnet off, doesn't he, when he's kicking at goal, but not today. Maybe it's a bit chilly for him.
I wish he'd take his boat off.
having played in North Queensland, I think it's a little bit colder here, to be honest.
Yeah, subtropical, isn't it, North Queensland?
28 degrees.
Townsville.
Middle of winter. And they wanted to go for a warm-up. No thanks.
So Jonathan Thurston looking to make it a 7th success here. Well, has he got it? No, he's not. He's pulled it wide. He's pulled it wide. And he looks to the heavens as though that's the most disappointing moment of his life. But it is 32-12, Australia lead.
Yeah, look at this. Smith there just picks, it's a moving dummy half play, isolating Percival one-on-one. He could have picked the lead man, the front man, or the man around the back. Both would have been successful. He picked Gillette out, and it's another 4 points.
So, John Keir, as a former England coach, I think we're going to be starting soon the picking over the bones of this Four Nations England's performance. Wayne Bennett, super coach. Have England moved forward under Wayne Bennett so far, given that they won a series under Steve McNamara 12 months ago?
Well, if you look at results, and I'm sure Wayne Bennett measures himself by results, he won't be happy because they played 4 with the warm-up game, but they've lost 2, and the 2 that they've lost have been against the Premier Rugby League playing nations, so he won't be happy. He'll see there's lots of areas to improve, and there's no one more critical of Wayne Bennett than Wayne Bennett himself.
I think it's our tactical awareness we mentioned. I think, you know, he's got a plan, you know, pre-match, and then as the players have said, he didn't play to that plan. So it's just a question of executing at this highest level, you know, and they've got to start doing that week in, week out in Super League first and foremost.
I think Justin Morgan, in the build-up to the game, he picked it out. You've got Boyd, you've got Thurston, Cronk and Smith. That spine, those playmakers, they played together for Queensland, who've been very successful over the last decade, and obviously Australia. And that familiarity, it just grows and grows and grows, and when they're that quality, they end up being very successful.
Well, Thurston, Cronk and Smith were playing in Melbourne 2 years ago when England were within a fingertip of actually winning that match. Here's Lomax, put down, a couple of yards away. Watkins hurls it back to the middle. It's now with Hodgson. Hodgson goes left. Williams, head upright, goes for that great pass. Good pass, Williams, great try. Ryan Hall scores in the corner. No England game, it seems, is complete without a Ryan Hall try. 31 caps, 31 tries now.
And that's what George Williams gives you. Just watch, they work to the right-hand side, then they go across. There's Williams, gets the ball, straightens up, holds Cronk. You got numbers on the outside, beautiful pass, lovely finish, Ryan.
Well, what he is George, is a running threat. And as soon as he starts coming forward, he attracts the inside and outside defender. And as soon as he does that, you see Cronk half bites, and that's when he just releases the ball to Percival, and it's the space is there on the outside, well executed there by England.
He
Good
runs,
try.
yeah, he runs the inside shoulder, so Cronk then can't drift.
Woodup's kick started wide, comes back enough to count as 2 more. So England 18, Australia 32.
Just watch him. Holds the mid-defence, but this is it, he runs, and just watch Dugan on the outside. You see number 4, he's got his eye on he's got his eye on the runner, Williams. That's the boy spot in the first half. He tends to look inside, doesn't he, Dugan?
Well, Wayne Bennett is obviously a big fan of George Williams, has highlighted the fact that he needs to communicate more on the field. But I mean, he's only what, 21 years of age now, isn't he? Only winning his 5th cap. He only made his Super League debut 3 years ago.
And he's getting better.
And that's what I was going to say.
He's
getting better and
as a fella.
and better.
He really is.
And again, we've said this before, but full marks to Sean Wayne at Wigan, who has kept faith with him, thrown him in as a young player, and said he's going to make mistakes, but he will improve as he goes on, and we're going to keep with him.
And weren't they the grand final winners?
Yep. Hodgson, a little bit of a juggle, the ball is lost, Australia come up with it, here's Trent Merrin.
Yeah, I thought Burgess, I'm not sure which one it was, he took a massive hit when he took the ball, and I don't think he was ready for that pass.
Clemmer looking to rejoin that little battle with whoever he can find in an England shirt. Plays it, has a word with Hodgson and Sam Burgess, and Sam just touches Clemmer on the shoulder as if to say, well done, fella, well done. Now it's with Cameron Smith.
3. Move, Mike Cooper.
That's where they are. That's where they are. Merrin, Smith again, spinning it to Thurston. Thurston with a step and another step, but reinforcements come. He got a rattle to the ribcage there, didn't he, Thurston? But gets up as if nothing happened. Gets the pass away. This is Tyson Frizzell. Great offload by him, and a good chance for Valentine Holmes to cap this performance with an acrobatic try. Wingers keep turning into wow moments week upon week. And as long as the video referee concurs, we've just seen another. So let's hear, probably for the final time today, from Bernhardsson.
Tackle 5 try. Okay, so he's in the field of play at this point. Still in the field of play, has possession of the ball. He's now in the air, and the ball is grounded, and he's in the air. That'll be a try. Have decision and going to the board.
Once upon a time, wingers went round them. These days, they go over them. You can't tackle that, can you?
Well, once, you know, if the flag is not part of the touchline, they go airborne very, very early. So, you know, the finishing from some of the wingers have been absolutely amazing. And for him, that's an easy finish for him.
It's a fantastic camera shot there as well. It's a great offload from Frizzell. Again, a smart ball there to the wingman. Look at that. Fantastic, that. That's the acrobatic ability. It's sensational.
This will be the photograph.
It should
on
be.
In his living room. This one.
Yeah, that one.
That'll be the photo. That'll be the photo on his living room when he's sat there in his slippers
with his pipe.
He's got a few contenders for that kind of snapshot. A real. I mean, he's another who's only. We talk about this Aussie production line. He's another who's only 21. Has won a grand final with Cronulla this year. What a story that was in Australia. 18 tries in the NRL last year, 16 tries the year before. And there's a lot of Aussie judges who'll say he ain't going to be a great player until he goes to fullback. Watch him when he goes to fullback. That's when you'll see him as being fantastic, but he's pretty good at the moment.
As if they're short the fullbacks.
Yeah. Billy
Slater's not even here.
Thurston again. Well, it might have been a miserable day from England's point of view, but it has been a memorable day in terms of the quality that we have seen from the Australian Kangaroos. Jonathan Thurston will pull that kick wide, 6 out of 8, but 36 points to 18. Mal Meninga demanded quality, and this Australian side are delivering quality.
Well, Mal Meninga turned Queensland into a dominant force. There was a real culture that grew amongst that team as well, about enjoying playing for him and enjoying playing for the state. You can sense the same things reoccurring for these in green and gold.
Well, as I said, it's a softening up period, Dave, and they've done that. You know, the hard work, the hard crafting, the hard yards, the good kicking and chasing, putting the pressure on England in the right areas of the field, and then they've turned on the style.
Well, no shortage of effort from England today. No shortage of endeavour. They had an adventurous first half. They trailed by 10 points to 6, and hopes were high. But the quality, the pedigree, the sheer class of Mal Meninga's side has shone through in this second half. They are littered with superstars who've shown what they're about today. They go to next week's Four Nations final with an unblemished record. 3 games played so far, 3 wins so far. It's New Zealand who will have to try to stop them regaining that Four Nations trophy. It's going to take a big performance from New Zealand to do that. Full time here at the London Stadium. England 18, Australia 36. And England now will have to pick through the bones of these last few weeks, knowing that the next meaningful international competition will be the World Cup in Australia, New Zealand and Papua New Guinea in just under 12 months' time. Wayne Bennett is booked for the job. What's he learnt? What's he learnt from what he's seen over the last few weeks? Jonathan Thurston, he'll still be there in 12 months' time, pulling the reins of Australia, you reckon? Valentine Holmes, wonderful try scorer. Right, let's hear from Cooper Cronk, the Australian scrum half, who's speaking now with Tanya Rana.
Cooper, congratulations on a man-of-the-match performance. You look like you enjoyed yourselves in that second half.
I suppose every time you represent Australia, it's always an enjoyable occasion, but you know, to play in stadiums like this against the English in the home soil, that's why you play rugby league. So thank you to all the fans that came along tonight. Hopefully see you next week.
There was a real fluency to your attacking play, particularly in that second half. Is that something you talked about at half-time?
Yeah, we did. It was our focus of our training week. We really want to execute our plays coming in that last third of the end zone. So I think we did well tonight, and we've been building as this competition goes on. So hopefully our best football's next week.
And how much of a focus is it for you to be #1 in the world at the end of all of this?
Yeah, look, that's the end result of doing the processes, and any team coached by Mal Meninga worries about the processes, and look, if that's the outcome of us playing really well, then that's something we'll accept.
Congratulations, Cooper. Well played today. Let's bring in the England captain, Sam Burgess. Sam, is that a tough one to take?
Yes. It's quite disappointing, the scoreline. Full credit to the others, but I don't think they're that many more points better than we are. Probably let ourselves down at stages. Some crucial areas you just can't do at this level.
Was that the problem in the first half? There were just mistakes when you were getting a foothold in the game that you just let yourselves down?
Yeah, I think so. We missed touch twice. It's a big momentum swinger, but look, I'm really proud of my team for their efforts, but we have to work hard if we want to get where we want to be.
How do you think you've progressed through this tournament?
Results are there to see. I mean, we've probably not done as well as we wanted, especially tonight. The scoreline we'll be disappointed with, but there's been some great efforts throughout this tournament. Some guys made the debuts and done very well for themselves. So we'll regroup and we'll look forward to next year together.
Sam, it's been good to see you. Thanks for your time. Let's bring in your counterpart if we can, Cameron Smith. Cameron, congratulations. You just look like a well-oiled machine out there.
Yeah, look, it was very pleasing to get a win here today. It was obviously a very tough game, but I think we've still got a few things to work on for next week. Our completion rate was probably a little bit below where we wanted today, and we gave up some penalties, which we probably can't afford to do next week. But it's good to have things to work on, but really pleased to get a win and move into the final next week.
I have to say, from an England point of view, for you to hear we've got things to work on when you put a scoreline like that up, it's slightly depressing.
Oh no, I think England can be very proud of their performance today and their whole tournament. It's a very hotly contested Four Nations this year. We've seen on the weekend Scotland drawing with New Zealand, so we're just very pleased we got a win here today. All the boys really were up for this game. We enjoyed playing against England on their home soil and had a great crowd. 35,000 was fantastic, and we've enjoyed our time here so far and look forward to moving up north next week.
Congratulations on a big win.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, Brian Noble, John Wilkin, Justin Morgan with me in the studio. Sam Burgess, that man there, Brian, said to Tanya, not that much difference between the two sides. We just let ourselves down. Do you agree with that?
Certainly did in the second half. I'm not sure letting them down. I think we need to credit to the Australians and how methodical they are. We spoke about how the Chinese water sorts. Well, it took its toll towards the set. Once you give them a bit of free ball, and I think the defining difference between the teams was Australia at the start of the second half had to defend 3 sets on their own line. Then they go down the other end, bash the English team, force an error and come up with a score. And that's so demoralising for England.
Yeah, they're so good at just absorbing all that pressure. And again, the patience showed by them. And I suppose that's the experience. You got, not sure how many test caps in their 13, but they've certainly got a lot of them in the key positions, and they're able to absorb the pressure, then go down the other end, put points on the board, and that basically broke the back of the English team.
We could get some reaction from the England management team now. Assistant coach Dennis Betts is with Tanya.
Dennis, how frustrating for the coaching staff were some of the errors and the indiscipline there?
I think that's the frustration. I think like I say, you make errors against the quality side with Cooper Cronk, Jonathan Thurston and Cameron Smith in the team, and then you're going to pay the price. And I think we survived in the first half continuously. We didn't make touch from kicks, we dropped ball, and we just failed to build any pressure. You see on the tackle count, we've made so many more tackles than they have, and I think that got us in the second half.
What are the positives, though, you take out of that performance?
It's been a really good camp, but we've seen lots of lads have made their debuts, 2 or 3 international games. We've built like a little bit of a squad up going forward. We've given some lads some experience. Know that the World Cup is a big target for us.
Is that one of the big differences? Like I said to Cameron Smith, they look like a well-oiled machine. They've played so many games together, and you had yet another different halfback pairing.
I think, well, it's not about us there, it's about the quality that's in their team as well. Yeah, we're trying to build something. We've got some good players who I think they don't realise how good they can be. I think there's patches in that game when we saw some real quality from that English side and some real quality from the English players. But when you look at what the state of origin gives them with Cameron Smith and Thurston and Cronk playing together year after year, 10 years down the line and still working together, and it's that combination shine through when you're under pressure.
So how positive are you going into that World Cup, given the 4 weeks you've had together?
You're asking me a question after I've just lost a test match. It's one of those, yeah, we've got some good players, like I say, we're building that belief up and understanding now and spending a bit more time together over this next year is going to hopefully give us an opportunity to go to the World Cup a little bit more confident than if we hadn't spent time together. But on the back of a game like today, yeah, we're pretty disappointed.
Dennis, thanks for your time.
Very welcome, Tom.
John Wilkin, he talked there about building things and getting to the experience level that the Australians have. But do you feel that England have gone backwards since the series against New Zealand last year, even since the last 4 nations?
I think, like they rightly said, I think they've blooded a lot of new young players. Obviously my teammates Johnny Lomax, Mark Percival have gone in. They've got that much needed international experience, maybe made some mistakes, but learning and improving. Sometimes you've got to do that, haven't you? You've got to go through those patches of maybe making mistakes, and I don't believe England have gone backwards. I honestly believe Australia were phenomenal tonight. I'm not sure any side could have beaten Australia tonight. You know, Justin and New Zealand have got a challenge on next week to beat Australia when they play so consistently well in the key positions.
Let's hear from their head coach, Mal Meningas, with Tanya.
Mal, how much did you enjoy that game?
Oh, no, it was a torrid game. It was very physical, and England got off to a great start. I thought we hung in there pretty well. I was very happy with the effort, at half time. So fixed a few things up, and played probably a bit more direct, and got the result we're after. So yeah, but it was a torrid game, and England kept on hanging in there, and I think they're going places. I mean, I was very impressed just with everyone's effort from both sides.
How much are you all driven by wanting to get back to being #1 in the world?
Oh, that's one of our goals, obviously. But every time we put a green and gold jersey on, we want to play well. So it's simple as that. We want to, obviously, for each other, we want to do the right thing for each other. But we want to make our country proud as well. So back home, hopefully everyone's pleased with that effort. We had to hang in there. We did. It wasn't all our way, and very, very pleased with the players. We're very proud of what they did today.
And incredibly, Cameron Smith said that he felt there's still room for improvement as you look forward to next week.
Yeah, we pride ourselves on that, so each week we've been trying to improve, and I think there's no doubt having our spine back, so Cameron and Cooper and John and Darius playing together, that sort of helps our cause a bit.
We will see you in the final. Thanks for your time, man.
Yeah, thank you. Tough.
That sums up their mentality, though, doesn't it, Brian? Cameron Smith saying there is room for improvement. I suppose there's always room for improvement in professional sport.
Yeah, and I think on the same side with England, there's room for improvement. We said at the top of the show, you have to move pieces forward. You might get beaten initially in a game of chess, but hopefully it starts the winning game. And hopefully Wayne Bennett's principles of all the smarts and all the things he's spoken about will come to fruition. He clearly said he needs time with the players.
Justin, as part of the New Zealand coaching team, how do you stop them at Anfield next Sunday afternoon?
Well, we're going to have to be very good. We're going to have to learn to absorb huge amounts of pressure, and when we're under pressure, be able to repel them from our own try line. When you get the chances against the Aussies, you have to take them. And I think, we spoke a little bit about it at half-time. You might get 1 or 2 chances per half. We have to be clinical with our play, but I think that absorbing the pressure is going to be the one that's going to have to be at the top of the priority list.
And you have to say, when you watch Cronk, when you watch Thurston, when you watch Smith, whatever your nationality, they are a joy to watch.
They are, yeah, and it becomes a bit, it's not tedious, is it? But as long as I've been working with you guys, whenever we watch Australia
feels like a long